If you're sat there wondering how many times should I be training each muscle group to get the biggest benefit, then this video is for you. How are we? I'm Will Russ, an online fitness coach and impersonal personal trainer, and I'm here to simplify the complicated fitness industry for everyday people like you and me. Today I'm going to be going through how many times you should be training each muscle group throughout the week. Before we begin, if you're genuinely serious about losing body fat, then you need to be signed up to my free 7-day fat loss crash course. It's an email a day for 7 days that's going to give you a little bit of information that you can put into practice that's going to help accelerate your fat loss and also sustain it. So once you get to your target weight or target look or target feeling, then you can keep that forever. To access the crash course, simply go to the link in the description. Let's get into it. How many times a week should you be training each muscle group? Firstly, we need to decide how many times can you commit to going to the gym. Because if we want to train our chest, for example, 2 or 3 times per week, because that's the best, or the best for you, then if you only go to the gym once per week, we're a bit stuck, aren't we? So first, we need to decide, or you need to decide, what can you commit to consistently for weeks, months, and years in terms of training frequency? Once you know the amount of times that you can get yourself to the gym during the week, then we can start deciding how many times or what's the best amount of times to be training each muscle for you. So now that you've decided a frequency in terms of gym sessions per week that fits your lifestyle, and it might be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever it is, you might even be a madman and train 7 days a week. I wouldn't really recommend it, but it can be done. But anyway, 3 or 4 times a week if we can. If you can't and you have to do less, then obviously just adapt this. Now that you've got your schedule, your training schedule, you need to prioritize certain muscle groups. The reason we want to prioritize certain muscle groups is because if we try and bring every muscle group in the body up equally at the same time, there's no way that one, we're going to be able to do it in a reasonable amount of time. It's going to take hours and hours throughout the week, probably training 5 or 6 days a week, which a lot of people don't want to do. It's going to require a lot of recovery, yeah? And it's probably not going to be possible, especially if you're there working jobs, you've got kids, or you like to do other things with your time. So because of this, we want to prioritize maybe 2 or 3 muscle groups in particular, and then we can dedicate a bit more time and focus to those muscle groups. That doesn't mean that we're going to completely disregard all the other muscles. We're still going to train them, but maybe the frequency in which we train them or the amount of total sets throughout the week that we train them with is going to be a little bit less. So if my chosen muscles that I wanted to bring up were my chest, biceps and triceps, then I would prioritize those, one maybe at the start of my workouts, and also I'd make sure that they're getting enough volume throughout the week, as well as being trained 2 to 3 times per week. So when I mention volume there, I basically mean the total sets that muscle group is getting per week. For most people to see decent amount of growth, you want to be aiming for around 10 to 15 working sets per week. It can be grown on less than this, and it can be grown on more than this. However, recovery becomes a little bit of an issue when you get to the higher volume working sets. Those working sets can be distributed however you'd like throughout the sessions. So if you train Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for example, you might do 4 sets of chest on Monday, you might do 2 sets of chest on Wednesday, and then you might do another 4 sets of chest on Friday. That means that you're doing 10 working sets in total throughout the week, which is a good amount of volume to grow that muscle, as long as, again, we're pushing with intensity and close to failure. But you're not doing 20 working sets where only having a day in between is going to mean that you're not fully recovered. So even if you really push yourself with those 4 sets of chest on the Monday, because you're doing slightly less volume on the Wednesday, and then you're having another day's rest before doing a little bit more volume on the Friday, that should mean that you can still produce quality working sets for that muscle group. However, again, you could change that up a little bit, and you could do 5 sets on a Tuesday and then 5 sets on a Friday of chest. And that would be adequate as well, because we're looking for that weekly volume. So those total working sets throughout the week per muscle group is what's going to dictate if those muscles are growing at a substantial rate or not. You can apply that to your chosen muscles. That might be your hamstrings, quads and glutes, and then you can decide whether training them twice per week or 3 times per week is going to be better for you. The only caveat to that is don't put all 10 working sets or 12 working sets, whatever you can manage, in one session. Anything over 7 or 8 sets is just going to become what's known as like junk volume, which basically means the quality of those later working sets is going to be so diminished that it's not going to produce any extra hypertrophy, which is growing the muscle. So basically it's a waste of time. But a good rule of thumb is especially if you haven't got certain muscles that you're really trying to prioritize and you just want to make general progress, then training each muscle twice per week is going to be a good starting point. Aiming for anywhere between 6 to 10 working sets throughout the week, distributed however suits you. So twice a week, 6 to 10 working sets, as long as they're quality sets, trained with intensity, taken close to failure, performed with good technique, then you'll be sound. Like I mentioned at the start, if you're interested and genuinely want to lose fat, and you want to make sure that you're doing it a sustained way and you want to do it rather quickly, then join my free 7-day fat loss crash course. It's one of the best free resources out there, and it's going to just get you kick-started, man. Like, stop faffing about, stop waiting for the perfect time, and just get signed up. It's an email a day for a week straight, and then you'll get boxed off. If you'd like some of my content today and you'd like to hear me on a bit more of a shorter form, or you'd actually like to get in touch with me, then follow me on Instagram. That's the best place you're going to get in touch with me. I'm on there all the time. I post daily on my stories, I post daily on my feed. So come interact with me, drop me a DM if you've got any questions, but follow me on Instagram. All of this stuff, all these links are going to be in the description, by the way. Obviously, you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, like the video, share the video. It does help out. People say that all the time. How it helps out exactly, I'm not too sure, but spreading my message, I'll appreciate it. But yeah, I post on YouTube every Sunday at 6 p.m. So subscribe, or if you don't want to subscribe because you're a bit of a creep and you don't want to for some reason, then just join back here every time on Sunday at 6 p.m. Okay, if you've liked what I've said today, or you're a bit more interested and you'd like to know how it can apply to you specifically, then book in a call to speak with me one-to-one. Obviously, I am an online coach, personal trainer. I go through in-depth stuff like this with all of my clients. I program them all, they just tell me their goals, and then I do everything else for them, and then everything's laid out for them. So if you are interested in getting that all laid out for you, or just want to know maybe how coaching might work and if it's a good suit for you, then come and have a chat. If you don't think it's for you, or if I don't feel like I can help you, then I'll try and push you in the right direction. Bye for now.